All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Toy Retrospective. This is the toy video series that I like to do, where I'm just going through waves and runs of my favorite toys and toy lines, things I'm interested in, things that I just wanted to know a little bit more about, things I already know about, but just kind of want to share with everyone else. Just fun stuff. Now, today I'm going to be doing Star Wars again because I'm using this to take place of the CBSI Star Wars show because we're taking again another week off just because schedule is just not lining up. Summertime schedules make things tough. So this one's on me. I couldn't film with the fellas this weekend, but hopefully you guys can enjoy this toy video instead in its place. I'm gonna find a place for the toys eventually once I get this done more on a regular basis. But for now, just gonna play around and try to work on the format. I appreciate the comments. Please let me know what you would like to see. If there's things you would like to see changed about this show or any of the shows, just let me know in the comments. Any suggestions are definitely welcome. Now, hopefully you're enjoying the content. If you are, please like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you don't miss anything. And like I said, I appreciate comments. So let me know what you think. And we're getting really close to that 900 subscriber mark. So we are getting really close to another giveaway. I think I'm at 891 as I'm filming this toy video tonight. So getting really close. So I'm going to have to get some more stuff together to give away for you guys. So be ready. Be ready. Tell your friends. Make sure we bump it up over that 900 mark. And then, as you know, the 1,000 is going to be a big giveaway. So looking forward to that as well. So if you want to see what toys we're talking about this week, just hang on and I'll be right back after the break. All right, so as I teased in the opening there, we are going to stick in with Star Wars, and we are also going to be sticking with the 2000s as far as the time frame goes for, the decade that we're going to be covering for these toys. And we're sticking again with the 2000s. And even though I said it was going to be really tough to do these comic 2-packs, I figured out a way for us to get into them. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to start in with the first video and probably a series of videos just covering these Star Wars comic packs, to the best of my ability. There's a lot of like exclusives and late releases and a lot of duplicates and things going in and out. It's going to be a fun ride, but definitely a lot of information to kind of throw your guys' way. So I have my Dirge 2-pack up here. We're not getting to this year yet. We're going to kind of start with the 2007 wave, which was the 30th anniversary, those black and red boxes that I covered last week in the Evolutions, those 3-packs that we covered last week. So this week we're doing the 2-packs that come with a comic book as well. Now, for the first, and luckily most of these are numbered. The first run of these things are actually numbered. Now, even though they are numbered, when they're listed on eBay, they're not always listed by that series number. A lot of times they're listed by the comic issue number that's inside. But we'll get into that as we get through this list. So let's hit up our first book so you can guys see what I'm talking about here. And our first 2-pack is going to be, number 1, the Star Wars Crimson Empire set. Now, this is the set that has a Kier Kanos. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He recently just got re-released in that Star Wars 6-inch, the Black Series, like the special edition kind of boxes that were kind of built upon like comic books. I actually have this pre-ordered, haven't gotten mine yet, but it's very similar to, if you can see me in the small, like the Darth Maul that I showed off. It's like this series of figures where it has the Crimson Empire on the outside and then the figure on the inside. And I got a Jackson. So Kier Kanos. Now, again, as you can see, this is the first issue, number 1, all the way at the top in the red is the number for this in the series. This is the first in the series, but a lot of people might list this under the issue 6 because that's the comic book that's included. It's very tricky sometimes to figure this out going through eBay. So just keep that in mind if you start searching for these things, to search for it both ways if you can. Now, as far as sale prices go, this one doesn't do too bad. This one, as you can see, in that $50 to $70 range for a sealed 2-pack. Definitely not too bad. It has a lot of interest, I think, because these Crimson Empire guys, they just have a really cool look with the red and the capes and the staffs and the blades. It definitely interesting look, and I think that is part of it. Apart from the fact that Kier Kanos is an interesting character as well. And as I noted, Issue 6 is the comic book that is included in this 2-pack. Now, these you might find loose and in comic boxes. I look for these all the time when I'm digging through dollar bins because you can sometimes find these in there because they don't have prices on them. That's one thing that'll tip you off, and well, they might have a not for resale or something like that. I always look for these packaged with toys comic books because I find them interesting. So these Star Wars books are definitely in that same realm where it's just something you want to keep an eye out for. If you compare this with the regular cover, you can see the differences are very slight, but they're there. So this is issue 6 for Star Wars Crimson Empire. And just to give you a vague idea, this is asking. I didn't find any sales recently to show, but an asking price of $29 just for the comic book, just for this version of the comic book, which is what I'm saying. It's a good idea to keep an eye out in those dollar boxes for things like that. Because again, sometimes pricing can be tough because, again, it's a toy book, and not everybody knows that this book came included with toys or action figures. They just think it's just some weird, maybe freebie, so it's worthless. But that's not the case. Now, that was the first one. Let's move on to number 2 in the set. And number 2 is a Vader with a rebel officer. Yeah, just a generic rebel officer. And you can see what books included with this one. So this one it is kind of interesting just for that. I mean, plus you got a 3 3/4 Vader's, which ain't bad. And you can also see how he's got a little bit of the red eyes, so it's a little bit more like the comic book version than the movie version. But this one's actually pretty cheap. You can find this one, as you can see, sale prices $12.19 at auction, $23.75. Definitely not that expensive for this set, sealed. So this one's a lot easier to find. Some of these are pretty cheap, especially in this wave, this run, this 30th anniversary, packs in 2007-ish time. I think it's like 2006, 2007 these came out, but obviously for the 30th anniversary for Star Wars, which was released same year as I was born, 1977. But this one comes included with Star Wars 1. Yes, it's another reprint of Star Wars 1, but that in and of itself is interesting. I mean, you can't have enough Star Wars 1s, right? I mean, it's kind of fun. So let's get every different version we can find. Since we're probably not going to get that 35-cent price variant, but definitely interesting to see the Dark Horse logo on a Star Wars 1. Yeah, that should make it stand out a little bit to you because, as you know, well, initially was produced by Marvel. So you see that Dark Horse logo, that should tip you off there's something special about this book. Now, this entire run of books, you will see at the top right-hand corner, there's the 30th anniversary logo. So that's another thing that could tip you off for this particular set of comic books that are included with these figures. They all have the 30th anniversary. As we get into later years, like the Dirge that's sitting next to me, it's not part of the 30th anniversary, so you don't get that same tip-off with that logo on the comic book or on the packaging at all. So for this run, that's a helpful tip if you just find the comic book loose. And this one, again, comic book loose, $2. It's not a very expensive thing. People sell it. Granted, there might be higher asking prices. There might be tougher ones, in better condition. But just as an example, this is something that can be found very, very cheap. Now, moving on to number 3. Our third comic pack actually features a stormtrooper and Governor Tarkin. Interesting to see him. It's, again, these are based off of the comic book characters. So you can see that outfit he's wearing isn't that movie outfit you would imagine Tarkin in. This is, green. He's got a green and yellow outfit. Looks a little silly, but that plays a little bit better, I guess, on the comic page than just plain gray and black. Not very interesting. But this is the third, again, in this series. As I pointed out, 30th anniversary. You can see that distinctly on the comic behind them. Again, another cheap one. Best offer on $15, $25 free shipping. Buy it now. Not an expensive 2-pack, this one either. And this one comes included with Star Wars issue 2. Why they started with the Crimson Empire one as number 1 makes little sense to me, when they could have just started with Vader, and then this would have been 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Would have made a lot more sense to me. You could have fit that Crimson Empire somewhere in later, but hey, I don't work at Dark Horse. I don't work at Hasbro. It wasn't my call. But Star Wars 2 is another good book, as we've gone over on the Star Wars, comic show talking about. There's a lot of first appearances in the second issue of Star Wars that a lot of people forget about. So if you want Obi-Wan, Han Solo, their firsts were not in issue 1, they're in issue 2. So definitely something to keep in mind. And I don't know. Again, you look for the Dark Horse logo. Maybe you find this reprint just for fun. Also, not too bad, but not as cheap as the issue 1 with $2. This one sold for $15. As I said, it's very it's all timing, like what's out there, what people will accept. Some people know what they have, some people don't know, and what people are willing to pay, it varies. This is not something that's in high demand. So if you're a patient, you can find it probably for the $2 range like the other one, or if you just want one, looks like 15 bucks will get you one right away. Up to you what you want to do. Moving on, number four comic pack is Chewbacca and Han Solo in the Stormtrooper gear. Kind of cool. And as you can see, if you can clearly look at that Chewbacca, that's comic book Chewbacca, not movie Chewbacca. He's got that lighter face on him that kind of stands out a little bit there. Now, this one, again, is a cheap one, $22.50, and then a couple about 13 bucks. Not expensive at all. And again, even though this is the fourth in the series, this is the third in a row here with Star Wars issue 3 now as the comic book that's included with this one. And this one has that, again, Chewie on the cover with them breaking out Leia from the stockade there, escaping from the Death Star. Again, a cheap comic if you find this on its own, $4. Not too bad, just as an example. Keeping it rolling, getting out of that original trilogy, we have Quinlan Vos, the Quinlan Vos 2-pack, and he is also there with Vilmar Gark. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Quinlan Vos, a little bit more expensive, I think, because Vos is a very in-demand type of character. I mean, his first appearance is one that a lot of people have been grabbing, and this is a nice way to get one. If you can get this reprint, you can see tucked behind him. But the figure 2-pack, $37 or just under 50 bucks. We'll get this one for you sealed. And if you are looking for the comic book alone, issue number 19, again, this is the one that you can see has a 30th anniversary at the top. No barcodes, no nothing like that on the trade dress in the bottom. So this is an interesting comic to keep an eye out for. And best offer on 25 bucks. So you're gonna figure they probably paid 20 or so at least for this plus shipping. So not a cheap one, but definitely not that bad when you consider the prices on the regular Star Wars 19s these days. They're getting a little bit pricey. Moving on. Number 6 in the run, Luke and R2 packaged together. Again, Luke wearing the Stormtrooper gear, part of that breakout from the Death Star. You can see another cheap figure, 20, 15 bucks, not expensive at all to get this one. So pretty cheap. And we get back into the regular Star Wars numbering. Here we now have issue 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 all available in this Dark Horse 30th anniversary comic 2-pack reprint set. So keep that in mind. You know, it'd probably be a nice little set that you could collect on the cheap. As you can see, best offer on this for $5. So under $5, we'll grab you this issue 4, which has a pretty cool Darth Vader cover right there for you. Now, continuing on, we're going to bounce around a little bit, and we're going to get a little Obi-Wan action. Obi-Wan. And he looks like he's packaged there with an ARC Trooper, I think, if I'm reading that properly. And this one, a little pricier, on the pricier side. As you can see, the cheap ones are in that $12 to $20 range. A little pricier. This is the $40 range. 43, best offer on 40 for Obi-Wan. And he comes with a pretty cool Star Wars Republic number 55, Blood and Rain. This is an interesting cover. Good Obi-Wan story in there, so that's why it's packaged with him. It's not Obi-Wan's first, which, as I mentioned, was Star Wars number 2, but pretty cool Star Wars book to throw in with Obi-Wan here. And this one, I didn't have any sales data to show you an example of, so keep an eye out for it. Again, 30th anniversary right at the top. That's how you would pick this one out from a normal one or regular one from the Star Wars Republic run. Next one, number 8. Number 8. This looks like it is the Dark Woman and Asherad Het, who we know Asherad Het is going to become Crate. You know, Sand People. He's like one of the Sand People, but will eventually become Darth Crate. Right? It's Asherad Het, or is it Sharadi? I always mix them up because the father's name and the son's name are very, very close, but I'm pretty sure it's the same character. And this is a pretty cool set. As you can see, it's also not cheap. $50 to like $80 on this one. And you also get the Dark Woman, which is another interesting Star Wars character from the comic books. These are characters that didn't quite make it into the movies yet, or the regular canon yet, but who knows? Maybe we will get them. And this is a pretty cool book where they are on the hunt for Aurra Sing, and this is issue 31 of that Star Wars run. Very cool cover to me. I like this. It's a little off. It's a little off kilter, but with the darks, it makes it a little more sinister. I kind of dig the vibe on this regular Star Wars issue 31, but this Dark Horse reprint, well, the regular one was Dark Horse as well, but this reprint that goes with the toys is definitely not a fun little side extra. $20 asking price on this one. Didn't have a recent sale to show off, but there's one available for $20 if somebody were interested. So gives you kind of an idea on the price on this. And that always, you can see how the price of the comic will be inflated by the price on the comic pack. I don't know if it's because of the figures or because of the comics, but one or the other makes some of these sets a little bit more expensive than the rest. Moving on, number 9. This one is another pack that has Vader and Princess Leia for the Infinity series. So these are slightly reimagined, going more back towards that like a original design, some of the early sketches kind of vibe with the toy designs here. So this set also very, very cheap, $11, $15. Not a lot of interest in this one, despite it having a pretty cool, Infinity's cover with Vader there. I don't know, kind of dig that. It looks a little bit more like a Japanese manga kind of vibe there, anime style or something, but definitely kind of dig it. And no recent sales on that one, so we're just going to move on to Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, the next pack, number 10. I think this is going to take us halfway through the number of figures that I'm covering this week. So you can see there, from the Heir to the Empire series with the comic book behind them, Luke and Mara Jade. This one, it's a little all over the place. I mean, you can go as low as $17.50 up to $42, both at auction. So timing. And then there's another auction there for $31. It's kind of all over the place, but I think Mara Jade is a character that people are interested in and hoping that we get to see her in some fashion. I don't think there's really a place for her in the current Marvel and Disney canon, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we get some version of her at some point. But this is still a very interesting 2-pack and a book that has some interest as well with this issue 5 from Heir to the Empire. So while everybody also knows about Thrawn, that in issue 1 being a pricey book, I think this would be the next one I would look for, issue 5 in that regular series. And to get this 30th anniversary toy version is a little side extra for you to keep hunting for. And this comic on its own, no recent sales, but you can see somebody asking $18, somebody asking $57 just for this comic. So this could be a pricey one, depending on the buyer and depending on the day and time of the sale. See what you can work out, because there is best offer there. So going to move on to number 11. And with number 11, we have Anakin and an assassin droid. So this is also going back to that Star Wars Republic series that was published originally by Dark Horse. It's Anakin. It's a droid. So it gets that kind of middle of the road price. That middle of the road reaction gets you a $24 or $35 set. It's right there in the middle. Not high, not low. Interesting book that comes with it, the Republic 57. But can't really say there's a lot going on there that makes you want to hunt this outside of you just look out for that. It's a toy tie-in book. So something to keep in mind. And as you can see, the price kind of reflects that. 99 cents. Somebody bought one for. So pretty cheap. Not a lot of eyes looking for that one. Moving on to number 12. This pack has actually Baron Fell and Hobie Clavanian. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Rogue Squadron. We know we're getting Rogue Squadron from Disney, so we don't know who's going to be in it, but a lot of people were rushing to this initial Rogue Squadron run. I think like issue 21 in particular, but 24, which is the book that's included in this, ain't too bad either. Any of the X1 Rogue Squadron books are kind of fun to have. This figure, again, could be cheap from $15 to that kind of middle of the road $34.90 kind of price. So, timing. All depends on the timing. And as I said, issue 24 is the one that's included in here. Kind of a cool book, something to keep an eye out for. But, won't spend too long on that. Also, could be had for pretty cheap. $5 thereabouts. If you're looking for this comic, one sold, $5. Not too bad. Number 13. Now this Kofi Arana, I don't know if I can. I'm butchering these names, but I'm doing the best I can. And Balthar Swan. You can see Purge in the back, which is kind of cool. That is a Hughes cover. I believe this is the Hughes cover. So kind of fun to get that in a Dark Horse toy pack. And this one's not too cheap. It's probably because of the book. I feel like it's really the comic that drives some of these ones to be really, really expensive. Well, sometimes a combination, I guess, with the toys. But I don't think it's either a Kofi or a Swan here that's really driving the price to be up that high. I really think it's that Purge book behind it. But $45, $38 puts it in that higher to middle of the road pack of the pack for these comic packs. So I don't know, not too bad, but not cheap either. And as I said, this is a pretty cool Hughes cover. I dig the regular one, so getting this toy version is also kind of fun as well. Again, that red 30th logo right at the top will tip you off of that this is the toy one. And this book, it can actually be had for pretty cheap. So maybe it is the toys. $7 somebody bought one of these for. So maybe it is the toys driving the prices. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? Who knows for sure? Because you're getting them both. You're buying these comic packs, you're getting the comics, and you're getting the toys. So maybe you don't have to choose. Up next, Lieutenant Junland, and Dina Shan. All right, couple of Empire people, and we get a Star Wars Empire comic. I'm not well versed in the Empire series. I don't have a lot of them, so I don't have a lot of feedback on these two characters as a whole. But this set can go anywhere from super cheap $10 to $40, $43. That's not too shabby. I don't know. I guess this is probably one that's not easy to find. I feel like it might have been a peg warmer back in the day, because who's going to want these odd, just Empire Imperials? Like, I don't know. Pretty cool Stormtrooper cover, though. Kind of dig that, this issue 39. But, who doesn't want to see Stormtroopers getting blown up? It's kind of cool. But issue 39 is the comic that's included. No recent sales prices for me to share. So, who knows? Sky's the limit on that one. Or, dollar bin fodder. With that $10 sale on the set, $40 sale on the set, who knows? All over the place sometimes, these prices. Number 15, almost through the regular versions here. Almost there. So, Mouse in Disguise and Basso in Disguise. All right, so Star Wars 37. I don't know a lot about these two either. Sorry. I'm not as well versed as some of my friends in a lot of these Star Wars comics from back in the day. Familiar faces, to be sure. This is more on pricier side. This set, $38, $50, $30. Also later in the run, so these could be a little bit harder to find. Again, this is number 15, as this series, I think, wraps around number 16, and then there's some exclusives that will round us out for the day. But this comic that's included is Star Wars number 37. Again, no recent sales. This Empire book. And like I said, I didn't read a lot of the Empire series, so I don't know too much about it. But no sales in this one either. So who knows as far as pricing goes. And then our last of the regular set, number 16. This comic 2-pack has a clone commando and a super battle droid in it. Pretty cool, actually. Kind of like that Star Wars Tales comic inside. This one is pricey. $120, $100. Again, late in the run, I think this might have been harder to find than the others. So this one is expensive. $120, $100 for this. And then the comic inside is Star Wars Tales number 22. And definitely a cool cover. You got that Iwo Jima kind of thing going there with the troopers down below. And the comic alone on this is kind of cheap, or can be had for cheap. Best offer on $15. So if this is a $100, $120 set, maybe it is the figures. Maybe people do want the clone trooper and the super battle droid. I don't know, but definitely an expensive one to keep an eye out for if you can find these types of things out at shows or yard sales, flea markets, wherever you might be. Keep an eye out for these 2-packs as a general rule of thumb. They're definitely kind of fun to find. Which will take us in to our final segment, which are some exclusives that were only at Walmart. So these next few will not have the regular numbering across the top, but these were available at Walmart, apparently, at the time, back in the mid-2000s. Our first one we're going to look at here is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Bail Organa. I don't know why the labeling's on the opposite sides. Holding the twins, kind of cool. You can see Bail's got Leia, Obi-Wan's got Luke. The pink and the blue should tip you off as to which is which. But still a cool little set. Having that Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, issue 4 in it is the final piece of that puzzle. $25 to $55. I think the Walmart exclusives are going to be in that kind of range, mostly in that like higher mid-range than most, because again, these were exclusives, making them a little bit harder for most people to obtain. And like I said, comic included, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, number 4. Pretty cool cover. Kind of dig that. And this comic alone can fetch you best offer on $30. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap to find this comic. Next exclusive pack, we have Commander Keller and Galactic Marine. Pretty cool. And you get that pretty awesome Star Wars Republic, number 79 back there. I forget that character's name. I think this is a first appearance book that's on the first appearance Star Wars list that you can find over on comicbookandbest.com if you are so interested. Ben and I do usually a weekly video series where we go over some of the first appearances in comics. We haven't gotten to this one yet, but I'm pretty sure I remember this one being on the list because I remember this cover. But not to get down a down a rabbit hole talking about that. This one, as you can see, it's expensive, $100. Best offer on 85, $79. Definitely pricey. This one, this pack, not cheap, not cheap at all. And comic, pretty awesome. No recent sales or none listed that I could share on this one either. So, not easy to find. I think this as a whole. So finding this comic book loose, because I don't think the regular issue has the stark white background with the white text. So this one should pop out if you run across it in a box. Just keep an eye out for it. And always that 30th anniversary up at the top will tip you off that it's one of the comic pack ones. Next up, we have Boba Fett. Who doesn't love Boba Fett? And RA7 droid. Yeah, just a droid and a Boba Fett. Star Wars 81, which is a book that's gotten pretty pricey because it tells the story of how Boba got out of the Sarlacc pit. Something we haven't seen explained yet on Mandalorian or in the Disney Plus universe, but perhaps we'll get that in the Book of Fett. Maybe they adapt this story in some fashion. But this one, as you can imagine, having Boba Fett in it, puts it in that kind of mid to high range, $53 to $100. Not surprising. Definitely not surprising. Everybody loves Boba Fett. And this one's brightly colored like the comics, as you can see. And Star Wars 81, like I said, it's a pricey book already, but this toy pack one is an interesting alternative. $25, $24 you can get on this one if you were to find this separately. I think the regular is gone. It went as high as like 80, I believe, and might still be in that like $40 to $50 range. I haven't checked that one in a while, so don't quote me on that price. Just going off of memory on Star Wars 81, but it did get expensive there for a stretch. Next up, we're getting Lando Calrissian and a Stormtrooper in our next one. Exclusive again to Walmart, these packs. No sticker that I could see on any of the pictures showing off that these were exclusive to Walmart, as stores like to do. Like now they put that all over like Pops and all over the toys. Exclusive, Walmart exclusive, Walgreens exclusive, Target exclusive, Amazon exclusive, wherever it might be exclusive to. They love putting that extra sticker on there. But I guess not back in 2007. But this one is right in that crazy range of it could be as cheap as $17 or as high as $55. Telling you, sometimes these prices can be all over the place. You can probably, I guess, get lucky with some of these auctions. They end on off days, or people are just not really looking for these things. This is not something that's a high demand item, these comic packs. So if you start collecting these, you are in a minority. You are not in the popular hunt right now. So maybe you can sneak some of these things for cheap if you get interested. So $17 to $55 is an interesting range of prices. Star Wars 44, Duel of Dark Lord, adapting Empire Strikes Back. Definitely an interesting comic. Not the same. I don't think this is the same cover as the regular Marvel, but yeah, don't have any prices to share for you on this one because I don't have them in the slide. So we're gonna move on. I think we're almost done. We're almost wrapping up here. I think we might have one or two more. Up next, we have Count Dooku and Anakin Skywalker. As you know, they're a big duel in Attack. Well, I guess Revenge of the Sith. They also had one Attack of the Clones, but Revenge of the Sith that opened the movie is where we get that, Anakin taking care of him, basically. And I think that's what we're getting at with this figure. About $40, roundabout. You can see a couple of sales in that 35 to 40 range. Not too bad, right in the middle of the pack. And you're getting that Revenge of the Sith issue 1. Like I said, it was early in the movie, so it's probably adapted in this comic where somebody loses a head. Spoiler alert. Last one here. We are going with Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, episode 3 again, number 3. This is a Kashyyyk trooper and a Wookiee warrior. So this is a clone trooper that's stationed on Kashyyyk and a Wookiee warrior. That's a little bit that we got in Attack of the Clones. I keep saying Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. But it was a small part of the movie, but I guess it happened in this issue 3, which is probably why this pack is covering them. And this one, again, $39 best offer, so maybe a little bit on the lower end, which is surprising. You would think a lot more people would want that Wookiee, but not too bad on this one. And then we have the comic, which, again, I don't have a recent sale price. You got Mace Windu there front and center and a bunch of Wookiees down below. And don't forget, right around this time frame when this was coming out, Revenge of the Sith was the final movie, and it was done, so this was probably hitting video and all that stuff at this time. But yeah, so that's our first run. As I said, there are a lot. That was 20. There's still a lot more. We didn't get to the blue packaging or the red packaging of these comic packs. And then there's some even earlier ones that I skipped over. There's a lot. There's a lot of these comic packs to cover. I'll do these in chunks. If you guys are interested, I'll keep doing them. If not, you want me to move on to something else, I'll move on to something else. Make a suggestion, and I'm open to it. Just, again, trying to play with this format for the toys, but this is going to wrap up our Star Wars comic pack part 1 video. So I'd like to thank you all for stopping by, checking out the video. And like I said, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. Hopefully you're enjoying this. You enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it interesting and informative. Maybe told you stuff you didn't know if you weren't that versed in this stuff. And if I'm coming off like an idiot because I don't know everything, then yeah, feel free to yeah, let me know in the comments. Go ahead, bash away. But I'm just doing my best trying to have some fun here. So hopefully you're having fun with me. Please like, subscribe, hit that alert button. Tell your friends. Let's get that sub list, the subscriber count over 900 so I can do the next giveaway, and then over 1,000 so we can do the big giveaway. And I guess I'll see you guys next time.